Hi guys, welcome to my new video. Today I'm going to be doing a beginner's yoga lesson. I'm just going to start right from the beginning, some of the basics, some of the transitions, and really work on the alignment of the body, make sure that you are comfortable where you are. Please take this at your own sort of pace. The main thing with yoga is it's not a competitive environment. You do this to suit yourself, you do it to suit your body, and take it as far as you feel comfortable. If you've ever got any sort of questions, if you want to ask me anything, please feel free to always comment or send me a little message either on Facebook, Instagram, however you want to communicate with me, that's absolutely fine. I have to say thank you so much to the people that have watched the video and have commented, and for people that have donated. I'll have to be honest, you literally made my day yesterday. I was so pleased and so overwhelmed, and it's really nice to have so much positivity come my way. I really do appreciate this. You'll never know how grateful I am, so thank you so much. Okay, let's get started. All you're going to need is a mat or a towel. Try and get a little bit of space to the side of you, and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is we're just going to sit in a cross-legged position. Now, if it's not comfortable for you to sit in a cross-legged position, just feel free to take the legs out in front of you. You can take the legs apart. You sit however you feel comfortable. We're trying to get the body nice and tall, so we're trying to keep the spine as tall as possible. Try and get a little bit of oxygen into those lungs. So from here, sitting up nice and tall, we're going to take the hands out towards the knees, roll the shoulders back. And if you're comfortable to do so, we're going to close down the eyes. Now, an important part of yoga is the breathing. My style is vinyasa, which is connecting the movement to breath. What we want to make sure at the beginning is that we're actually breathing in the right sort of flow. So as you inhale through the nose, I want you to really make sure that you're filling up your tummy with air. So as you inhale, your tummy is puffing outwards. The chest lifts as you inhale. As you exhale, you're drawing the navel to the spine. So we're inhaling, taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling up the tummy with air. Feel the chest lift. And as you exhale, draw the navel towards the spine. Now we're inhaling and exhaling through the nose if you can. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. We're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose. We're going to bring the hands together at heart center into prayer. And we're going to start our practice today by gently bowing forwards to one another. Namaste, everyone. Okay, staying down on your mat. First thing I want you to do is we're going to drop the head to the right hand side. So just dropping the head down to the right hand side. If you want to increase that stretch, just apply that little bit of pressure on the head with that right hand. Now with this left hand, take that hand away and you're going to crunch that left shoulder up towards the left ear and then push that left shoulder away. You should feel that that increases the stretch down that left hand side. Bring the head back into the center. Let's swap sides. So taking the head now down to the left and then placing a bit of pressure onto the side of the head. Taking that right hand off to the side. We're going to hug that right shoulder into your right ear and then gently pushing that right arm away. And again, should feel that that increases that stretch. Bring the head back into the center. We're going to take the chin down to the chest, taking the hands on the back of the head and gently encouraging that stretch. And then returning the head back into the center. Now we're going to take the head out towards your right shoulder. We're going to drop the chin down to the shoulder and we're going to drag the chin across the front of the body over to the left shoulder. We're going to gently go back and forth. Taking it over to the shoulder, dropping it down, dragging that chin across the front and over to the left, and then returning the head back into a neutral position facing forwards. We're going to roll those shoulders back a couple of times. And we're going to inhale. We're going to take those arms up. We're going to look up to the hands. As we exhale, we're going to take your right hand to your left knee. So taking the right hand to the left knee and placing this left hand behind you. Now from here, sit up nice and tall. Be careful you're not slouching. Sit up nice and tall. Lift up through the chest. Try not to laugh. and then gently twisting round to the left-hand side. So we're looking over that left shoulder. Now the left shoulder, you can't quite see it, but make sure you're relaxing it. So sometimes the shoulder can creep up, relax that shoulder away, getting nice and tall through the body, and we're twisting to the left. We're going to inhale, facing forwards, lifting those arms back up. And then as we exhale, swapping sides. So taking that left hand now to your right knee, taking that right hand behind you, and we're looking over that right shoulder this time. So again, sitting up nice and tall, placing that hand away from you, drop that right shoulder away from the body, and we're looking over the right hand side. And we're using this left hand on the right knee just to aid a bit of twist through the spine, through the body. And we're going to inhale, lifting those arms back up. Exhale down through heart center. Nice, everybody. We're going to take your left hand down onto the mat. And we're going to straighten your right leg out to the side. Now, depending on how you feel here, the option is to stay in this position, and we're just going to take that right arm over. Now, you can rest down onto that left forearm if you want to. If you want to go a little bit further, we're going to lift up onto this left knee. So we're going to lift up onto the left knee, left foot. Your left hand is staying down, and our right foot is down on the mat. Nice straight leg with that right leg. And we're going to lift the arm up. We're going to look up to the hand. If it's comfortable to do so, bring that hand down towards your ear. We're rolling the right shoulder back, and again, we're looking up to the ceiling. So a nice stretch all the way down the right-hand side of your body. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose, and then as you exhale, just coming back into a seated position, we're going to swap sides. So bending that right leg, taking that left leg out, and again, stay in this position if you want to, coming down onto the right hand or coming down onto the forearm, and we're just going to reach up and over with that left arm. If you want to take it further, lift up onto that right knee, right hand, and we're reaching over to the side. Roll that left shoulder back and feel the stretch down the left hand side of the body. Take a nice deep breath in, and as we exhale, coming back into a seated position. We're going to take the hands onto the knees. We're going to take this into Drunken Sailor. So what I want you to do is just some circular motions through the body. Now try and make these circles as big as you can without rolling onto one side. If you want to, you can take the hands down, get a little bit deeper. Try not to take it too far back. We're not leaning back, we're leaning to the side, and we're working on just warming up the spine, warming up the core, and then changing the direction. I can't imagine why they call these drunken sailors. Oh, I can't wait to be a drunken sailor once all this is done and dusted and we can actually go out. Okay, and then returning back into a seated position. Now from here, we're going to come over into a tabletop. Now tabletop is on the hands and knees. If you are brand new to yoga, if you've got problems with the knees, if it's not comfortable being on the knees, you can buy specific gel pads for your knees. If you obviously don't want to do that, then I would get either another mat or a towel and put it across the middle. Use that bit then for your knees. The most important thing when you're using any aid is that it's equal. So if you're padding up a knee, make sure you're padding up the other knee as well, so we're not sort of affecting the alignment with the hips and the joints. Okay, so tabletop position. Straighten my mat out. Okay, so tabletop, we want the hands directly underneath the shoulders. We're spreading the fingers out and we're pushing the hands down into the mat. We've got our knees stacked directly underneath the hips. Now from here, we're just going to start to gently rock the body back and forth. It's really important, especially when you're new to yoga, to always start with a wrist warm up. A lot of the time with yoga classes, they're straight into it, straight into planks, straight into downward facing dogs. And if you're not used to spending that much time on your hands, it's really hard work. I find myself sometimes in yoga classes, if I don't do a little bit of a warm up at the beginning, my wrists get really, really sore, and I find myself having to come out of a downward facing dog or a plank probably sooner than I would like to. So we're keeping the hands down and we're just rocking the body back and forth. Now as I'm coming forwards, I am dropping the hips down. You don't have to go that far if you don't want to. You can just stay in tabletop. It completely depends on the mobility of your own wrists. Now take the hands to face the edge of your mat, and we're gently going to rock your body from left to right. Now we're actually moving the whole body, so we're still working on the wrists. We've got those hands flat down and we're trying to keep the arms as straight as possible, but we're taking it down into the glutes as well. So just gently taking it from one hip to the other. And then from here, bring the hands closer towards your body. We're going to go palm facing down. Try not to put too much pressure down through those hands, and tuck the toes on and if you want to. So we're adding a little bit of a foot stretch. Now gently take your bottom back towards the heels. And again, take this as far as you feel comfortable. If this isn't comfortable for you, just release and come back into tabletop. We're going to untuck the toes and we're going to sit back onto the heels, take those arms forwards, and we're just going to start to flick those fingers out. And again, just warming up the wrists, warming up the forearms. And we're going to circle the hands. And maybe the other way. And then just shake them out. Okay, making your way back into a tabletop position. So, cat-cow, I'm sure you've heard of it, I'm sure you've seen it. So from here, cat-cow, we're going to inhale. Now we're looking forwards, we're lifting up through the tailbone. Now I'm letting my tummy sink down towards the mat, but I'm still staying strong in the arms. So be careful you're not sort of dropping down here. We're still strong in the arms, we're allowing the tummy to drop down, we're lifting up through the tailbone, and we're looking forwards. If it feels comfortable to do so, you can slightly look upwards. Try not to look too far up because we're not jamming it down into the top of the neck. We're looking forwards or on a slight elevation. We inhale as we look forwards, and then as we exhale, we're going to take the chin down to the chest, tuck your tailbone under and push your shoulder blades up to the ceiling. Now really push. The more you take your chin down to the chest, the more of a stretch you get across the shoulders. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Try and make these movements last your breath. So as you exhale, so I'm going to take a nice deep breath in. As I exhale, it really slows it down. Inhale. One more. Exhale, round. And then inhaling back into a neutral spine. Depending on how you're feeling, down on the wrist, maybe gently give them a little twist to the side. And again, you can come out of this tabletop at any time that you want to. Okay, now from here, we're going to take the knees to the width of the mat. We're going to go into our Balasana, which is child pose. Now take the knees out, bring your big toes together, and we're going to push your bottom back towards your heels. Now, depending on how this feels on the body, you can reach the hands forwards and maybe take the forehead down. If that's not comfortable, the option is to always maybe put a pillow here and just rest the head down onto the pillow. A lot of people, I find, they can't actually get their bottom down onto the heels. That's just a bit of restriction, tightness in the hip joints. What you can do is push your hands down and push. So I actually have a little bit of restriction here. So when I go back into this, I take the hands down onto my mat and I'm pushing my bum towards the heels. Now, depending on how you're feeling in this position, if you're feeling comfortable, feel free to take the knees wider. So take the knees maybe off your mat, get a little bit deeper into that stretch. You certainly feel it as soon as you take those legs a little bit wider. If it's not comfortable for you, bring the knees closer together. So it doesn't matter if it's not comfortable in those hips, bring the knees closer together. You can even have the knees touching, and you can do a slight variation where you take the forehead down and you go into a position called rabbit pose rather than child pose. You can take the arms to the side of the body, place the forehead down, or you can keep the hands facing forwards. We're going to inhale and we're going to lift back up into your tabletop position. Now from here, we're just going to work through our Seria Namaskar, which is your sun salutation. A lot of time in yoga practices, this is what they normally do right at the beginning, just to get the body nice and warm. I'm going to take it nice and slow and go through each bit step by step. So we're going to start off by tucking your toes under and going into downward facing dog. Now downward facing dog, we've got the fingers spread out on your mat and we're going to lift the tailbone up to the ceiling. So thinking about an inverted V shape. Now from here, we're pushing the head towards the knees. So I see this a lot of the time, and I'm sure it's people just trying to look forwards to what I'm doing next. But you're dropping that head down, push the head towards the knees. You can have a bend in the knees. So depending on how your hamstrings are feeling, a little bit of a bend in the knee is absolutely fine. We're lifting up through the tailbone, and we're going to start to pedal the legs out. So we're going to start to bend into one leg at a time. And all this is doing is just starting to wake up the back of the legs, waking up those hamstrings, and we're just going to start pedaling the legs back and forward down to the mat. Now on an inhale, we're going to try and lift that right leg out behind you. Now we're not going to kick it up to the ceiling. We're just going to keep the foot flexed, keep that right hip turned downwards. So imagine you've got two spotlights on your hips, and push the heel to the back of the room. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, look towards your hands, and we're going to try and step your right foot as close to the hands as you can go. Now if you find you get halfway down your mat, take the right hand onto the foot and actually pull it forwards. If you can get all the way down through, that's absolutely fine. Take it again as far as you feel comfortable. So we're going to inhale through the nose, take the right leg out behind you, look towards the hands. As you exhale, step that right foot as close to the hands as you can go. We're going to bring that left leg to join it. And then on an inhale, nice and slowly, we're going to start to stand up. Nice and slowly, uncurling all the way through the spine. We're inhaling as we stand. We're going to take the hands all the way up to the ceiling into our Hastasana or mountain pose. Exhale down through heart center. And again, inhale, lift, looking up to the hands. As we exhale, we're going to take the arms wide, and we're going to go all the way down into a forwards fold, into an Uttanasana. Now in your forwards fold position, you can again have a bend in the knees. Gently take the hands down, soften the knees if you need to, and then relax the head. Make sure you're not holding any tension in the neck. Now we're going to take the hands towards the knees or thighs. You're going to inhale and you're going to look forwards, creating some space in the lungs and creating some space in the body. And exhale back into your forwards fold, back into your Uttanasana position. We're going to soften the knees and we're going to take the hands down. We're going to step back with your left leg into plank, and you're going to step back with your right leg. Now if plank is too much, straight away drop those knees down. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, hover down to the chest onto your mat. If you're strong enough to hold a plank, keep the bum low. We're going to take a breath in and out in this position. So we're going to inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Draw the navel to spine. Take a nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, drop the knees. We're going to untuck the toes. Keep the elbows tucked into the body. So we're not taking the elbows wide. We're keeping those elbows tucked into the side of the body, coming all the way down onto your front. Now keep the hands where they are. We're going to inhale. We're going to lift up into a baby cobra. Now Cobra, we're just lifting to your body's range. We're not pushing down through the hands. We want to get to a position where we can just hold it. And if we want to, we can take the hands off. We're keeping the feet flat. Exhale, coming down. And again, inhale, lifting into a cobra. Exhale, down. We're going to tuck those toes under, and we're going to push back up into a tabletop. We're going to lift back up into a downward facing dog. So inhale, lifting back into downward facing dog, and we're pedaling those legs out again. This time, we're going to take that left leg out behind you, flexing that left foot, pushing the heel to the back of the room. Inhale through the nose as you exhale. Look towards the hands. Place that left foot as close to the hands as you can go. Bring that right leg to join it. And again, on an inhale, nice and slowly, coming all the way up into a standing position. Take the arms up overhead. And exhale down through heart center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take those arms wide, all the way down into a forwards fold position. Take the hands towards the knees. You're going to inhale, looking towards me, looking towards the front. Exhale, down. Relax the head, maybe even shaking the head out. Take the hands down. We're going to step back with your right foot. Step back with your left foot into your plank position. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Taking a nice deep breath in as we exhale, drop the knees. Keep those elbows close to the body. Drop the chest down. Untuck those toes. We're going to inhale, lifting into a baby cobra. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. And then we're going to make our way back into a tabletop position. Well done, everybody. Take the wrists to the side, or take the hands, to face towards the edge of your mat. And we're gently rocking from left to right.
Okay, so into a tabletop position with those fingertips facing forwards, knees stacked underneath the hips. We're going to tuck those toes under. We're going to start working on a little bit of a standing flow this time. So as we inhale, lifting that tailbone up into downward facing dog, and we're going to pedal those legs out again. We're going to take that right leg up to the ceiling, taking a nice deep breath in. This time as we exhale, we're going to bend your right leg. Now we're squeezing this right heel towards that left glute or hip. We're lifting the right knee as high as we can and really squeeze that heel, so you should feel that stretch across the right quad. Now make sure you're pushing evenly through the hands. We don't want to take the weight over into that left hand. We're pushing evenly. We're pushing the head to the standing leg. Inhale, take that right leg out behind you. As you exhale, we're going to hug that right knee in towards the chest. We're going to hold it for a little bit, and then we're going to place that right foot down in between the hands, or as close to the hands as we can go. Now leave your left foot where it is. We're going to inhale, and we're going to try and lift up into a high lunge. So we're inhaling, lifting up into a high lunge. Now your high lunge, we've got that right knee stacked over the right foot, and we're up off your left heel. So imagine someone's pulling on that left heel. We're straightening that left leg as far as we feel comfortable. We're bending into that right leg. Take a nice deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to drop your left heel down onto the floor, and we're turning the arms down. So the right hand's coming forwards, left hand's coming back. Now your right knee is facing towards the front of your mat, and your hips are facing towards the left hand side. We're looking towards the right hand. This is your warrior two. We're going to inhale through the nose, and we're going to flip the palms. As we exhale, we're going to straighten that right leg, take those arms up to the ceiling. Taking a nice deep breath in, bringing it back down into warrior two, bending into the right leg. Exhale, flipping the palms, bringing it back. Take the arms up, straightening the right leg. Inhale, flipping the palms down, back into your warrior two. One more, flip those palms. Exhale, back up. Flip the palms, inhale back into your warrior two. Exhale through the nose. Take a nice deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to take your right elbow down to your right thigh, and we're lifting that left arm up to the ceiling. Now we're rolling your left shoulder back, and we're looking up to the left hand if it's comfortable to do so. Now if you want to make this a little bit more challenging, we're just going to straighten that right arm as well. Now keep the bend in the right leg, and we're just going to straighten that arm down. The nice thing about this is you can push this arm into your right leg, and it helps aid that rotation, so it opens up the chest. We're going to inhale, lifting back up into your warrior two. We're going to exhale, we're going to cartwheel your hands down, frame your right foot, and we're going to step back into a plank. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, drop the knees, keep the elbows tucked into the side of the body, coming down onto your front, untuck those toes. Inhale, lift into Cobra. Exhale, down. And again, inhale, lift. Exhale, down, tuck those toes under, making your way back into tabletop, and then back into downward facing dog again. We're going to inhale, lifting the left leg this time. As we exhale, bending that knee. So we're squeezing that left heel towards that right glute. We're lifting that left knee as high as we can. We're going to inhale, straighten that left leg. As we exhale, bending that left knee, hugging it back in towards the chest, and then placing that left foot down in between your hands. On an inhale, we're going to lift back up into that high lunge. So pushing through that left leg, keep that left leg bent. We've got that knee stacked over the ankle, and we're lifting those arms up above the head. We're up off your right heel, and we're pushing that right heel to the back of the room. Now drop the shoulders away from the body. Even though we've got the arms lifted, careful you're not pulling the shoulders up too high. Inhale through the nose. As we exhale, drop your right heel down this time, left hand forwards. We're going to go back into your warrior two, this time with the left leg leading. Now that left knee is stacked over that left foot. The left foot is facing forwards, and your hips now are facing towards the right hand side. We're looking towards the left hand. We're going to inhale through the nose. We're going to flip the palm. As we exhale, gently bringing those arms back up, straightening the legs. We're going to flip the palms. Inhale back into warrior two. Flip the palms. Exhale, lift. Inhale back into warrior two. Keep bending into that left leg. Exhale, lift. And inhale, taking it back into warrior two. Exhale through the nose in this position. Inhale through the nose. Keep that left leg bent. Exhale, left elbow coming down towards your left thigh. And we're lifting that right arm up to the ceiling again. We're looking up to that right hand. And again, if you want to make this a little bit more challenging, just straighten that left arm. Keep this bend in the left leg, and we're pushing that left arm into the left leg to help rotation. We're looking up to the right hand. We're going to inhale, lifting back up into warrior two. We're going to exhale, cartwheel those hands down. We're going to step back into a plank. We're going to inhale through the nose. As we exhale, drop the knees, keep the elbows close to the body, coming down onto your front. Inhale, lifting into a cobra, and exhale, down. Okay, tuck those toes under. Let's make our way back into a downward facing dog. Well done, everybody. Now from your downward facing dog, we're going to lift that right leg out behind you. Inhale through the nose. As we exhale, we're going to bring that right knee in towards the chest. And we're going to place it down again in between your hands. We're going to inhale, lifting back up into a high lunge. So that right knee is stacked over that right ankle. And we're going to exhale, take that left heel down, right hand forwards into your warrior two. Moving around on my mat all over the place. So we're back into your warrior two. Right foot is facing forwards, right knee is coming towards the front of your mat, and we're down on that left foot. Now push the feet down. It's as if you're trying to rip that mat apart. So really ground down through the feet. Turn the leg muscles on, activate the legs. We're going to straighten that right leg again. So we've got the toe facing forwards. We're going to inhale through the nose. We're going to go into your Trikanasana, which is triangle pose. As you exhale, stick the hip out behind you. So left hip's going behind you. And we're reaching forwards with the right hand. Keep reaching forwards and then taking that right hand down onto your right shin. And we're lifting that left arm up to the ceiling. Now, Trikanasana or triangle is probably one of the main moves I see being performed wrong. A lot of the time people think that when they're really flexible, they take the hand down. And what happens is this arm comes down and it restricts the lungs. So they end up in this position. If you are coming down to the floor, you want to open up through the chest and we're stacking the arms on top of each other. If this isn't accessible with a straight right leg, bring the hand higher. Take this to a range that you feel comfortable. We're going to bend into your right leg. We're going to inhale, lifting back up into your warrior two. This time again, straightening the right leg. We're going to turn the right foot to the left hand side. So we've got the toes both facing forwards now towards you or to the left hand side of your mat. Take the arms now onto the hips. We're going to inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. We're going to look up to the ceiling. As we exhale, we're going to go into a wide leg forwards fold. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing this with straight legs, bend your knees, get down into the position first. We're going to take the hands down and then start lifting up through the tailbone. Now, take the head down as far as you feel comfortable, maybe even shaking out the neck, making sure you're not holding any tension in the back of the neck. We're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose as you exhale. Maybe try and go a little bit deeper into this stretch. Now the option, depending on how comfortable you are in this, is to take the legs a little bit wider. You can come down onto the forearms if you want to, or you can come onto the top of the head. I always say, whatever you get into, just make sure you can get out of it safely. So I'm going to drop down onto my forearms or onto the head, just get a little bit of a deeper stretch. On your next inhale, making your way back up onto your hands. If you've opened the legs, heel toe the feet back in. Now engage the legs, so soften the knees a little bit. And we're going to inhale, lifting back up into a standing position. We're going to take the hands onto the base of the spine. We're going to draw the shoulders, the elbows together. And we're going to inhale, looking up as a counter stretch. And then exhale, facing forwards again. Now from here, we're going to turn your left foot to the left-hand side. I'm going to go into your warrior two with that left leg bent. So we're swapping sides of the mat. We're going to do our Trikanasana or triangle pose this side. We're going to straighten that right leg. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, take that right hip now to the back, reaching forwards with your left hand, and then taking that left hand down onto the shin and lifting that right arm up. A little bit of a bend in that knee is absolutely fine. Just don't relax on that leg. We're placing the hand. Again, if you're taking the hand down, make sure that you've got enough openness through the chest and the lungs aren't restricted. We're going to inhale, lifting back up into your warrior two, bending back into that left leg, straightening the left leg, turning your left foot to the right hand side. So we're back into a wide leg position, both toes facing forwards. This time, take the hands to the base of the spine. We're going to inhale, pull those arms down behind you. We're going to look up to the ceiling, drawing the shoulder blades together. As you exhale, wide leg forwards fold. Maybe again, shaking the head out, keep those arms interlinked. We're pulling the arms forwards to get a little bit of a stretch through the shoulders. We're going to soften the knees. Inhale, nice and slowly coming back up into a standing position. Get my hair out the way. Take the hands onto the lower spine. We're going to counter stretch by inhaling, looking up. Exhale, facing forwards. Turning that right foot facing forwards. We're going back into a warrior two with that right leg. Inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, cartwheeling those hands down. We're going to step back into a plank. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, drop the knees. Keep the elbows tucked into the side of the body. Coming down onto your front and tuck the toes. Inhale, lift into Cobra. Exhale, down. Now, whilst we're down on the mat, we're just going to do a couple of extra stretches. We're going to work on our Locust or Salabhasana. So what I want you to do from here, take the arms down the side of the body. We've got a little bit of a distance in between the legs, not too far, so don't part the legs too far, but a little bit of a distance between is absolutely fine. We're going to take the arms down the side of the body, palms facing up. Now take the chin down onto your mat. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. We're going to look forwards. We're going to try and lift the arms. So draw the shoulder blades together, lifting those palms up to the ceiling. If it feels comfortable to do so, we're going to try and lift the head and shoulders up off your mat. Now keep going, but make sure those feet are pressed down for now. So we're going to inhale and lift. Now don't hold the breath. Keep breathing in and out of the nose. On inhale, we're going to try and lift a bit higher. Imagine someone's pulling on those arms. And exhale to come down. We're going to go again, looking forwards. Inhale, drawing the shoulder blades together, lifting those arms up. We're going to lift the chest up. And if it feels comfortable to do so, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs, point your toes. We're going to try and lift the legs as well into our full locust pose. Now, if you've got the thighs lifted, try and draw the legs closer together. Be careful not to hold the breath. We're going to try and inhale, go a bit higher. And exhale, coming down. Well done, everybody. Place the hands by the shoulders. And we're going to counter stretch by going back into child pose. So take the knees to the width of the mat. Bring your big toes together. We're reaching forward and we're taking that forehead down. If the forehead is in contact with the mat, gently rocking from left to right. And then from your child pose, we're going to look forwards. We're going to take your right hand underneath that left arm. We're going to take your right ear down onto the mat. We've still got that left hand facing forwards towards the front. Now lift up onto your fingertips of the left hand and walk the fingertips over to the right hand side of your mat. Push this hand, the right hand, down into the floor and we're looking underneath that left arm. So this is aiding a bit of rotation, nice for the shoulders, nice for the neck. Just don't take it too far. If it doesn't feel comfortable, just come back down onto the side of the head and bring that left hand back over to the left hand side. If you want to increase this stretch more, take that left hand up to the ceiling. We're going to bend the elbow and we're going to place the fingertips over by your right thigh. So we're rolling that left shoulder back and we're looking up to the ceiling. We're going to inhale, taking that left arm back up, placing it down on the front of the mat, pushing down through that left hand to release that right arm and then swapping sides. So reaching forwards with the right hand, taking now that left hand underneath that right arm and we're coming down onto our left ear. The option is to lift up onto the fingertips of the right hand, walk that right hand over to the left hand side at the front of your mat, push that left hand down and we're looking underneath that right shoulder. If you want to increase that stretch, take that right arm up, bend at the elbow and then we're placing the fingertips over by your left thigh. We're rolling that right shoulder back and again we're looking up to the ceiling if it's comfortable to do so. We're going to inhale, release that right arm, exhale, placing it down onto the mat. We're going to make our way back up into a tabletop position. So bring those knees closer together, place those hands down. We're going to tuck those toes under and we're going to lift back up into a downward facing dog. I'm going to pedal the legs out. Now from your downward facing dog, we're going to walk the hands towards the feet. So we're walking the hands towards the feet. We're going to soften the knees and we're going to inhale nice and slowly, coming all the way up into a standing position. Take the arms up overhead. Exhale down through heart center. And again, inhale, lift. Now we're looking up to the hands. And we're going to exhale, facing forwards, but keep the hands where they are. We're going to take it over to the right hand side. Bringing it back to the center, taking it over to the left. Back into the center, looking up to the hands. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release the hands. Take them all the way back down towards the mat. Soften the knees if you need to. And then just gently shaking out the head, relaxing the back of the neck. And we're trying to move the weight forwards into the balls of the feet. So be careful you're not locking the knees. I see this a lot. Excuse me, getting out my lovely legs. I see that a lot. So a lot of people, what they do is they're pushing the hip back and they're extending through the back of the knees. We're not trying to stretch the back of the knees. We're trying to get a little bit more mobility through the hamstrings. So if you need to soften the knees, that's absolutely fine. But we're moving the weight forwards into the balls of the feet rather than into the heels. It may feel comfortable to gently rock from heels to toes. Keep the hands down in front of you, depending on the mobility of the hamstrings. Well done, everyone. We're going to soften the knees and we're going to inhale, coming back into a standing position, taking the arms up overhead and exhale down through heart center. Well done, everyone. Okay, so we're just going to have a little go at a balance. We're not going to do anything particularly complicated. With any balances, you take it as far as you feel comfortable. Try and focus on something that's not moving, and let's see how we get on. Keep breathing. A lot of people, when I'm doing balances, they hold the breath. Don't hold your breath, it makes it 10 times harder. Okay, so we're going to start off with the hands together at heart center. So starting up nice and tall, lifting up through the chest. I'm going to start by lifting up your right leg. So we're just going to hover the right leg up. Now, if your balance is all over the place, if you're not very comfortable with balances, or if you're brand new to yoga, you can keep the toe down. That's absolutely fine. Just work on maybe trying over time to lift the foot up off the mat. Doesn't matter how high you lift that right leg up. So we've still got that right leg lifted. We're now going to try and take the right knee out to the right hand side. If you feel your balance going, and then bring that right leg back into the center. We're going to flex your right foot. I'm going to kick your right leg forwards towards the camera. Oh, I wish I hadn't done that facing you. No one needs to see that. So take that right leg forwards. We're going to bend your right knee again, and taking the right knee this time back out to the right hand side. Now, if it feels comfortable to do so, you can straighten the right leg out to the right. Gently bringing it back in, bringing it back into the center, and then placing that right foot down. Maybe giving the legs a little bit of a shake. Let's try the other side. So keeping the right foot down this time, let's lift that left knee up. I'm going to take the left knee out to the left hand side. Keep facing forwards, push the hands together if you're wobbling. Bring that left foot round, flex that left foot, and kick that left leg out towards me. Bring that left leg in, turn the left knee back out to the left hand side, and the option is to try and straighten that left leg as far as you feel comfortable to go. Gently bringing it back in, and placing it back down, giving the legs a little bit of a shake. Well done, everyone. Okay, so depending on where you are in your mat, inhale, take those arms up. Exhale, coming all the way down. Now we're either going to step back into a downward facing dog, or you need to walk your hands forwards into a downward facing dog, depending on where you are on your mat. We're going to inhale, lifting up onto your tiptoes. Exhale, sink the heels down. And again, inhale, lift. Exhale, sink the heels down. We're going to look towards the hands, and we're going to step or hop through to the hands, and we're going to come down into a seated position. Okay. Taking the feet down in front of you. We've got the feet flat, we've got the feet the same distance as the knees, and we're going to take the hands behind you. Fingertips facing towards your body. Now a little bit of a bend in the elbows is absolutely fine, depending on the mobility of the wrist. We're trying to get the hands flat. On an inhale, push down through the feet. We're going to lift those hips up, squeeze the glutes, and we're looking up to the ceiling. Exhale, bringing it down. We're going to lift the feet up, and we're going to go into our Navasana. Now, if you're new, if this isn't comfortable, just keep the hands where they are. You can, over time, maybe work on straightening the legs, coming lower down to the mat. That will definitely increase the core strength. If you want to take this straight into Navasana, keep the legs where they are, and bring the arms to the side of the body. Now, we're lifting up through the chest, but we are gently lowering down. So we're keeping that tension in the lower core. If you're anything like me, the longer I hear it, hold it, my body starts to shake uncontrollably, especially if you're taking the legs straight. If you're comfortable here, try and straighten the legs. Now we're going to inhale through the nose, nice and slowly as we exhale. We're going to try and come down to the mat. Just before we get to the mat, we're going to hug the knees in, we're going to rock back, and we're going to try and lift back up into boat pose. Let's do that again. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, making your way down to the mat, hug the knees into the chest, and then try and sit back up into your boat pose. Whew. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, take those legs down onto the mat. Now we've got the legs straight in front of you. Flex the feet. We're going to inhale, take those arms up as we exhale, coming into a forward fold position. Now, depending on your range, keep the feet flexed. I know it's not particularly comfortable. You can either take the hands onto the shins or ankles. Keep looking forward. So we're trying to work on those hamstrings. Rather than stretching the back of the neck, we're trying to get the chest down to the legs. If you live in a slightly more open body, take the hands to the feet. Keep the feet flexed. You can either take the hands around the side of the feet or take them on top of the feet. Elbows out. And the rule of thumb with any stretching is as you inhale through the nose, you gently release. As you exhale, maybe try and go a little bit deeper into that stretch. We're going to inhale, lifting those arms back up. We're going to exhale, taking them behind us. We're going to bend the legs. Just move the bottom forwards a little bit. Inhale, lift those arms up. And exhale, making your way all the way down onto the mat. So we've got the legs bent, we've got the feet flat, and we've got the feet the same distance between the knees the same distance as the hips. So nice and straight line all the way down through the body. So take the arms to the side of the body, palms facing down. On an inhale, we're going to lift those hips up nice and slowly. So we're working all the way up through the spine. We're going to squeeze the glutes and we're going to exhale to come down, coming down in reverse. So working with the top part of your spine, thoracic spine, and we're curling all the way down nice and slowly. The tailbone is the last thing to touch down. We're going to push the lower back down into the mat. And we're going to go again. Gently inhale, lifting the tailbone up. Nice and slowly, working all the way up through the spine. Thinking about the vertebrae, one vertebrae at a time. And then exhale in reverse, coming down with thoracic spine coming down first. Working all the way down through the back, through the lumbar spine. And then down to the tailbone. We're going to do one more. Gently lifting up the tailbone, pushing down through the feet. We're lifting those hips up to the ceiling. And the option here is to stay in this position. Don't hold the breath. You can interlock the hands underneath your mat. Draw the shoulder blades together and we're lifting up through those hips. Now be careful with this. We're looking upwards. Be careful you're not looking over the head. And you can bring the feet a little bit closer into the body if you want to. You can even lift up onto your tiptoes. Take this as far as you feel comfortable. We're going to release the hands. Inhale through the nose, and as you exhale nice and slowly, making your way back down onto the mat. And then we're going to hug both knees into the chest. Now take the knees wide, take the hands on top of the knees, and we're rocking from left to right. And then from here, we're going to go into your Anada Balasana, which is happy baby pose. So we're lifting the feet, we're keeping the bend in the knees. We want the legs as wide as possible. We're taking the hands onto either the ankles or the top of the feet. And we're pulling the knees down to the back of the arms. So taking the knees towards your armpits. Now be careful your lower back doesn't lift up off the mat. We want to push your lower back down, and then we're pushing those knees down towards the back of the arms. It may feel comfortable to gently rock from left to right. And then we're going to straighten both legs up to the ceiling. Now we're taking the arms back down the side of the body, palms facing down, and we're flexing the feet. So we're stacking the feet on top of the knees, knees on top of the hips, and we're pushing the heels up to the ceiling. Now, depending on how you feel here, the option is to just stay in this position. We are getting ready towards the end to wind down for Shavasana. Or you can go into your Balasana, which is plow pose. So push down through the hands. You can take the feet up overhead. Protect the neck, so keep looking forwards. If you're comfortable here, you can either take the hands back onto the mat, interlock the hands, or you can take them onto the lower back. We'll inhale through the nose, and nice and slowly as you exhale, making your way all the way down onto the mat. I'm going to take that left leg down, and we're going to hug that right knee into the chest, taking both hands on top of the right knee. We're just going to take that right knee into some circular motions. Just working through that right hip, and then changing directions. And then keeping your left hand on the right knee, right hand up to the side of you, palm facing up. Inhale through the nose. As we exhale, we're going to take your right knee over to the left, and we're looking out towards your right hand. Now try and keep your right shoulder down on the mat. Doesn't really matter if this leg doesn't come down, we're just keeping the right shoulder down. So take this leg as far as you feel comfortable, keeping that right shoulder down and then looking out towards that right hand. On an inhale, lifting that right leg back up, hugging the right knee back into the chest, and then straightening it down on the mat, hugging that left leg in this time. And again, just maybe taking that left knee into some circular motions. And then change direction. Then keeping the right hand on the left knee, take that left hand up to the side of your palm facing up. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, take the left knee over to the right. And we're looking out towards the left hand. We're keeping that left shoulder down. We're going to bring that left knee back in towards the chest. We're going to bring the right leg in to join it, hugging both legs in. Maybe gently rocking from left to right. Keep the legs together, take the hands around the legs and really hugging them in tight to the body. And then from here, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, take the feet down onto your mat and open out the knees. So we're allowing the knees to drop open. We're going to take the arms down the side of the body, palms facing upwards. I'm going to close down the eyes. We're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling up the tummy with air. And then exhale through the nose, drawing the navel to spine. I'm going to take your dominant hand, placing it on top of your tummy. Inhale through the nose, filling up the tummy with air. Exhale through the nose, drawing the navel to spine. Inhale through the nose, filling the tummy with air. Exhale through the nose, drawing navel to spine. Inhale through the nose, filling up the tummy with air. And then as you exhale through the nose, we're going to straighten the legs out. Now take the legs to the width of your mat. Allow the feet to naturally turn outwards. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling the tummy up with air. Exhale through the nose, drawing the navel to spine. And again, inhale through the nose, filling up the tummy with air. Exhale through the nose, drawing navel to spine. On your next inhale, we're going to try and create as much tension in the body as you can by clenching the feet, the thighs, the glutes, the hands, the face, anything you can. So on your next inhale, create as much tension in the body as you can. We're going to hold it. And we're going to breathe out and release. And again, inhaling through the nose, creating as much tension in the body as we can. Breathe out and release. One more. Inhaling through the nose, creating as much tension in the body as you can. And breathe out and release. Well done, everybody. Now you can stay down in this position for as long as you want to. Shavasana. It's a resting pose, corpse pose. Inhaling through the nose, filling up the tummy with air. And exhaling through the nose, drawing the navel to spine. And when you're ready to come out of this, we're just going to start wriggling the toes, wriggling the fingers. Gently rocking the head from left to right. We're going to hug the knees into the chest. Maybe gently rocking the knees from left to right. And then when you're ready, we're going to rock up into a seated position. We're going to cross the legs. We're going to take the hands out towards the knees, forefinger and thumb together, either the palms lifted or the palms facing down. You can keep the eyes closed if you want to. We're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose. We're going to exhale through the mouth. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. And again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling up the tummy with air.
bringing the hands together at heart center. And as we exhale, gently bowing forwards to one another. Namaste, everyone.